Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at two cases where police officers used excessive force, assaulting and unlawfully arresting civilians over minor issues like noise complaints and business disputes, resulting in charges and terminations against the officers involved. On March 16, 2019, in Albany, New York, multiple police officers arrived at a local residence after receiving a singular noise complaint. Upon arriving at the house and seeing a man who came to answer the door, the officers acted unreasonable and aggressive.
Open the door. Yeah, we are. Open the door right now.
As with all members of the public, the police have an implied right to approach the front door of a residence and knock for the purpose of convenient communication with the occupants. However, this implied license ends at the door. This is important to note because while the police may knock and announce their presence at your door, unless they have a warrant, you are not required to open the door, answer any questions, or cooperate with the police in any fashion. That's because before entering an individual's home to make an arrest, officers must obtain a specialized warrant known as a Feeney warrant. Once that warrant is obtained, the police must announce their presence, identify themselves as police officers, and outline their purpose for showing up at the residence. For example, we have a warrant. Before forcing entry into a home, the police should also, at a minimum, request admission and have admission denied, thereby allowing the residents to potentially consent to the entry. Considering that the officers did not announce their identities or the reason for appearing at the residence, it's logical to assume that they didn't have a warrant. Despite this, the officers continued to yell at the civilian to open their door, going as far as threatening to kick it down, which was beyond unnecessary, especially considering the nature of the call, a mere noise complaint.
Open this door. I'm gonna kick it. Open the door. Because I told you to open the door. Then open it. Then open it. Yeah, we are. Then open the door.
Open the door. I'm trying to cooperate with you. Then just open the door. I'm not on my door now. When you do that, I'm not doing like that. When you ask everybody to leave, I'm going to do that.
I'm going to tell you.
Really, Bill?
All right, ready? Open the door.
Okay.
Okay. Ow. Get out. Back up! Back the f*** up!
Out of nowhere, the officer broke the civilian's door down, after which multiple other officers began assaulting the victim and forcing him to the ground, for apparently no reason at all. Hence, the officers could be charged with breaking and entering, defined as entering a building through force without authorization, where even the slightest force used, including pushing open a door, is all that is necessary. In New York, a person is guilty of burglary in the third degree when they knowingly enter or remain unlawfully in a building with intent to commit a crime therein, which is exactly what the officers were doing. Needless to say, the officers had also without a doubt violated the victim's fourth constitutional right, which states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." Unfortunately, these wouldn't be the only crimes the officer would commit tonight. Let's continue watching. One of the officers then began violently kicking the victim, despite him already being on the ground. This was clearly a violation of their department's use of force policy, which states, "Officers shall use only that amount of force that is objectively reasonable under the totality of the circumstances known to the officer at the time the force is used." Force may appear necessary at the time the force is used, given the facts and circumstances perceived by the officer at the time of the event to accomplish a legitimate law enforcement purpose. Furthermore, considering that the victim had done nothing wrong so far, the officers were liable for committing assault in the third degree, a common charge for when one person initiates a fight with another person, or one person beats up another person. Assault in the third degree is classified as a Class A misdemeanor, with the maximum possible sentence being up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000.
That was me too, I sprayed.
Nobody's leaving. Empty that shit.
Yeah, stand by. We'll get him out in the warranty. Let them get him out before we have to everyone. Everyone out. Get out. Now.
You ain't got no warrant? Out.
Go near one.
No.
Go. Get out of here. Go. Back up. Where is my back there? Who now?
What you hand me for?
Who's that? Where is my back there? Where is my back? Gotcha. Stand by, I got cuff.
Well, I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing shit. Nothing. I didn't resist. I didn't do nothing.
Get this cuff on?
My hands is right here. I didn't do nothing. What y'all doing? I didn't do nothing, man. I didn't do nothing, man.
Is that your fault?
No, I didn't do nothing.
What the fuck happened?
The officers then began beating multiple people and violating their constitutional rights, even going as far as using a police baton. According to Stanford Law School's use of force policy on police batons, there were multiple policies that the officers violated, such as 1. The limited use of batons to strike or jab a subject when the subject exhibits active or aggravated aggression. The officer can articulate the facts and circumstances that justify each and every strike on the person, and once the person no longer poses a threat, the officer stops striking the person. 2. If feasible and safe, an officer must issue a verbal warning and give time for compliance before using a baton or other impact weapon to strike. 3. Officers must strike only the arms or legs and avoid strikes to the head, neck, sternum, spine, groin, or kidneys, absent justification for the use of deadly force. 4. Officers may not use a baton or other impact weapon to strike a person who complies with commands or who exhibits only passive or active resistance. 5. Officers may not use a baton or other impact weapon to strike a member of a vulnerable population, absent justification for the use of deadly force. After violating essentially every single one of these policies, the officers continued to go after even the general members of the public, which made this ordeal a lot worse.
No, I didn't do nothing, man. My hands right here. I didn't do nothing.
Dear! Dude, take a second. Hey! Chill the out, dear. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You did. You didn't move when you were told to move. You disobeyed a direct order. Shut your mouth. Luke, look at me. Luke! Get this guy. Get into your car. Get the fuck up. Get up!
I ain't do nothing.
Luke!
I live here. Right here.
Yeah.
Y'all?
Let's go. Let's go. Back up. Time to go. Back up. Stay there.
Better go home.
Needless to say, the officers elevated their third-degree assault charge to a first-degree one. According to New York Penal Code Statute 120.10, a person is guilty of assault in the first degree when they cause serious physical injury to another person or a third person utilizing a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument. After the incident, attorney James Knox filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of two of the men, Armando Sanchez Jr. and Mario Gorostiza. This resulted in Officer Luke Deere, the officer with the baton, being charged with assault and misconduct. Furthermore, the other officers in the case were named in the suit, including Officer Connor O'Shea, Officer Stephen Michael Albert, Sergeant Jim Lewis, and Officer Matthew Sieber. Unfortunately, as of the date of this recording, there have been no further updates made to this case. Next up, on March 15, 2018, in Laurel, Maryland, the local police department responded to a call about an unruly customer at a Rainforest car wash. The officers who responded to the call were Justin Landrum, Clint Hedgepeth, Welch, and John Windsor. Upon arriving at the scene, they conversed with the employee who made the call.
And then he's like, well, I'll just go to the effing house and wash and vacuum my truck out. And I was like, okay, well, you're right. And then he just flies to the car wash. And now he's over there and he apologized for being an ass and everything else. And I'm like, he didn't take all that. You don't have to be an ass.
They would let him vacuum his car before he washed it.
Was he in that,
I told her, I was like, my God, it took all
that was him.
Yeah, in the blue, whatever it is.
I think that was him leaving. What was he driving?
He's right there in the black truck.
Oh, black truck.
He's still on the property.
Oh, well, you want him to leave?
As long as he stays out there and he does what he's doing now, he's fine. But like I told him, there was no need in him doing all that crap.
I had to deal with him the other day.
I think we need to go talk to him anyway.
I want to say it is, but I'm not quite for sure. That's what.
Central 349.
49.
Despite the attendant stating that the customer, Mikhail Ducksworth, apologized for his behavior and affirming that she would not remove him from the premises, the officers proceeded to question him nonetheless. The manner in which the officers conducted their questioning, however, was unprofessional to say the least. Despite the initial conflict being resolved, the officers wanted Mr. Ducksworth to leave and never come back to the car wash. On top of that, the officers threatened to tase him for not leaving, despite Mr. Ducksworth not needing to and having already paid for his car wash. This was a totally unjustified action from the officers' side, because the alleged conflict was instantly over the moment they were told everything was all right and under control. Carrying out any of their duties after that would be invalid.
36.
Right one. 8 Adam call 914. 8 914. What's the name?
You call to get a ride over whatever did it, so hey, we on the board. I ain't trying to get nobody to take you, but hey, I just ain't the guy that don't take no shit. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't need 4-5 households here, hey. You're harassing me.
Oh, we ain't harassing.
I'm just saying, y'all come up all behind and all that. I mean, how we gonna handle this situation? What would y'all like to do?
Well,
I mean, how may I help y'all? I mean, she just, I seen on the phone call the police. You know what I'm saying? I apologize to the young lady. But I see a young man, he ain't go through the car wash hell, he pulled his in there.
Well, get in your vehicle and leave and don't come back.
Hey,
You're
I'm
banned
back
from
my
this
truck
place.
out first. I paid for my service, man.
Let's go. Right now.
I paid for my service, buddy. I already paid for my service, man. I'm gonna back my truck out.
You done caused enough problem up here.
No, I
You
ain't
can go.
causing no problem. I'm gonna finish my service.
I'm telling you what you're gonna do.
Put your hands on me, bro. Don't put your hands on me, man.
What you gonna do? Put your hands on your back.
Nah, man.
Turn around, put your hands behind
Man,
your
let me tell
back.
you. Nah, man.
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm gonna get in my truck and leave,
Put
bro.
your hands behind your back.
What's your name? What's your name, man?
Actually, without giving a logical reason, a police officer cannot tell you to leave a public place. Considering that the employee allowed the man to be there, the officers had no reason to kick him off the property. Despite this, they attempted to tase Mr. Ducksworth and then used bodily force to throw him onto the ground and then tase him even more. This was a clear violation of the ACLU's taser policy, which states, "The taser is a use of force and is to be used only when necessary to overcome resistance while effecting an arrest, preventing an escape, in self-defense, or defense of another person from physical harm, and in accordance with this department's use of force policy." It also goes without saying that they violated Mr. Ducksworth's fourth constitutional right.
The taser me, man. Can I get up, bro? Can I see my kid, man?
Lay him down.
Can I see my kid, man?
Lay down.
Come on. Man,
Log taser deployed 2 times.
man. Come on, man. Man, I got my kid, man. This ain't even that serious, man. I got my family in the truck, bro. I got my family in the truck, man. Bro.
Get a case number first.
Sometimes y'all don't understand, man, what we go through, man.
Case number 666-88-6688.
All you gotta do is what we ask, man.
I'm just saying, bro, but I can't finish my service.
When you bow your hand, when you bow up to the police,
I didn't bow
this is
up.
what happens.
I didn't bow up, nail time. I bad back to get in my vehicle. I had my hands up, man. Man, that just don't make no sense, man. I don't understand, bro.
Where's that other prong at?
Man, y'all done made me piss on myself, man. This ain't fair, bro. Man, this ain't... Oh. Man, this ain't fair, bro. I know, hey, now I know what that damn taser feel like.
Who can we call to get your kids?
Man, I need to call my mother-in-law, man. ASAP, man.
A few months after the event, Mr. Ducksworth filed a civil suit against the officers, the result of which led to all the officers, apart from Officer Windsor, being fired from the LPD. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter